So welcome to Daily Practice with me, Nikhil, and in today's practice we are going to talk about imperfectly present. How letting go of perfection unlocks joy. And I will give you 5 actionable steps in which you can take them and you can start to work with your own ideas of perfection if that is holding you back. And we will close with a meditation as well. So that is the plan. So if you like to join us, please do so. Please find a comfortable place. You can sit back, relax, enjoy whatever it is that is being talked about here. And then if you feel like you want to share, please do so in the comment section. So hey everyone, welcome. I've been thinking about perfectionism ever since I started this journey into spiritual awakening. And this thing, what it feels like. What does it feel like? What does it mean to be perfect? Especially when I started in this journey of spirituality, mindfulness, and meditation, there has been this idea of there is this enlightened state, or there is this place where everything is perfect, everything is serene, everything is calm, everything is beautiful. And this is the chase we often get into, and we get stuck there. And we get stuck because we believe perfectionism, or we believe there is a perfect routine, we believe there is a perfect way of life, we believe our principle is perfect. So there is many ways, many aspects in perfectionism and how it manifests in your life and in my life. So we are constantly trying to be something we are not. This is kind of the essence of perfectionism. Something we think we should be. And I know I've definitely felt that. But consider, have you ever had those moments where you just feel tired, exhausted from being or trying to be perfect? So I invite you to take a moment to just close your eyes and think of those moments. Because honestly, we've all been there. And it's not a fun place. So today I want to share some of what I've learned on how to let go of that and find a little more joy in just being, us. So just being us. So what is this burden of perfectionism? So what's the deal with this perfectionism anyway? I used to think it was just about being a high achiever, but it's much more than that. It's like this voice in your head that's never satisfied, never happy. And I've read that perfectionism is linked to many common issues we face, like anxiety and depression. And honestly, it kind of makes sense. I've definitely noticed that when I'm consciously obsessing over little details and things which I am no longer in control of, or things in the past, I become way more stressed. And it's not just in our heads. And studies like one in the University of British Columbia shows that it can actually stifle creativity. So being stressed or being caught up in this loop can stifle creativity. And the opposite is also true. If you're less stressed, if you're managing your anxiety and you are in a mindset which is open, creativity comes out of it. So when we are worried about getting it right, we don't even try new things. This is the biggest problem of perfectionism, is when we try to be perfect in one thing, we don't try many other things. And I remember this one time in a project I was doing, I was fixated on getting the right kind of Excel spreadsheets or right kind of project documentation. I was spending way too much time on it and like making it look amazing. The figures need all the tabulations, need all the credentials, or like the whatever it's called, the bottom thing which notes the tab. So I was very obsessed at how it looks and how it feels, and actually the deadline was approaching and I was getting more stressed out. I caught up, and this result wasn't even that much better, and it was like I got caught up in the details, which I lost sight of the big picture. And the big picture was getting the report ready. And that happened a lot in my life. I think it doesn't really show as much because we don't even pay attention. So we get caught up in these little things. And we finally need a wake up or some sort of push or some sort of notice to be aware of this thing which we do, which we keep doing to try to be perfect at it. And I've even done it with a lot of my clients as well. Like working with them, I often try to be the perfect coach, perfect support, perfect trainer, and often that helps them maybe, but it doesn't help where I am going, because I believe when I believe there is a perfect ideal, it actually distorts my image of what it means. So this happens a lot, and I want you to think about it in a way, how can you break this cycle? So it's a cycle we get caught up in. So we start something and then we want to build a good thing out of it, and that good thing becomes obsessive and it becomes something which is counterintuitive and counterproductive, and it takes over our life. So how do we break this cycle? So well, for me, as obviously, because you're all here, mindfulness has been a game changer. And it's not just about the paying attention aspect to the present moment, but it's also the without judging yourself. The aspects of mindfulness we talk about in this channel all the time is acceptance, gratitude, loving kindness, and compassion. And honestly, bringing all those qualities in my own practice. It sounds simple, but it's a hard thing to achieve once we have set ourselves in this ideal of this perfect way. But we all know that mindfulness can change parts of our brain, can strengthen parts that help us regulate our emotions and reduce stress. We all know this. And it's like a way in which we can reinvent ourselves, so the relationships we may have with certain characteristics or certain areas of our lives can be changed, is what mindfulness teaches us. So whenever I get caught up and I notice this constant chase towards perfectionism, I started to try to be more present in my daily life, even in little moments. Like even when I'm drinking my morning coffee, for example, I try to really savor the taste and smell. Or when I'm walking, noticing the feet on the ground. And not just as a meditation practice, but just simply bringing mind back to this moment in a very informal way. Noticing the sounds and sights around me. And it's amazing how much you miss when you are always caught up in this, how do I do it better, how do I do it amazing, or how do I do this perfectly. So when you're present, you're just simply here. So you're more accepting of yourself and others. you realize that it's okay to make mistakes. And we are all just human. So enough of the talk. I think let's just get down to some practical things you can try. So forget this vague, mindful advice, whatever I've just said before. I think what is important is what I'm going to say now. So these are the 5 techniques or skills you can build in your practices to let go of this idea of perfectionism. So the first one is the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 grounding technique, which some of you may already know. But if you don't know, instead of just noticing the breath, let's try this. When you feel overwhelmed or caught up in that perfectionistic loop, thoughts creep in. So try this 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 grounding technique. Outward and openly say 5 things you can see around you right now. So I can see window, building, monitor, camera, lights. 4 things you can touch: table, chair, floor, shirt. 3 things you can hear. I can hear static in my headphones. I can hear cars moving about. I can hear the sound of my own voice. 2 things you can smell. I can smell a little bit of scent from the candle, and also a little bit of the perfume or the scent of the room. And 1 thing you can taste. So noticing what is in your body right now. Maybe if you had a meal, you may taste a little bit of the meal, or it may be just neutral, just bringing awareness to this moment. So that's the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 grounding technique. As soon as you notice your mind is wandered, this brings us back to this moment. So this idea probably doesn't get rid of that loop, but it's a good way to come back to the present without noticing the breath, for example. The second thing I want you to do is the 1 imperfect thing challenge. So instead of imperfect observation, try this. Every day, deliberately do 1 thing imperfectly. Maybe if you are really cool, try leaving a dish slightly unwashed. This is a good one. Send an email with a little bit of a typo. Make sure the email is not too important or not critical. The point is consciously challenge your need for perfection in small, safe ways. It's like exposure therapy for perfectionism. Just try little bits at a time. Track these small acts, and if you can, and watch for anything you can notice and how the fear of imperfection lessens over time. That's 2. So 3, the compassionate self-talk script. So forget just be kind. Write down specific self-compassion script like, I acknowledge my mistake is a normal part of learning. I will treat myself with the same kindness I'd offer a friend in this situation. I will focus on what I can learn and do better next time. Read the script aloud when you're hard on yourself. Make it personal. Include your name. Make it sound like it's you. So I'll repeat it again. The compassionate self-talk script. I acknowledge I made a mistake. It's a normal part of learning. I will treat myself with the same kindness I'd offer a friend in this situation. I will focus on what I can learn and do better next time. Number 4, the time-boxed imperfection. So instead of good enough, try time-boxed imperfection. So set a timer for a task that you tend to over-perfect. When the timer goes off, you stop regardless of whether you feel it's perfect or not. If it's a work task, give yourself 20 to 30 minutes or an hour and then send it. If you're cleaning, give yourself 10 minutes to clean a room and then stop as soon as the buzzer goes off. And when the timer goes off, you have to just stop. That's it. This teaches us to work within a realistic boundary. So the boundaries you can set, so it doesn't mean that you have a half-finished room, but you can set the time. So you can be like 20 minutes, 30 minutes, whatever is works for you as the boundary. The idea is as soon as you hear the bell, you stop. And this is called time-boxed imperfection. And the 5th one is sensory immersion ritual. So instead of mindful moments, create a sensory immersion ritual. For example, when you drink your morning tea, coffee, water, I invite you to close your eyes. Focus only on the warmth in your hands, the aroma and the taste. Just simply, fully be present and dedicate those few minutes for pure sensory experience. It's a concentrated dose of presence. So we are cultivating more presence. So these are 5 ways in which you can change your relationship with imperfection. So look, I know it's not easy. Letting go of perfectionism is a journey, not a destination, but I truly believe it's worth it. Because when we are not so focused on being perfect, we free ourselves. We're free to enjoy moment, to connect with others, and find joy in the things which we like to do. So I hope you'll join me in this journey. Let's choose a simple, imperfectly present exercise to embrace this messiness of life and find joy in here and now. And before we finish, let's just take a few moments to practice what we've discussed as well. So I invite you to find a comfortable position, either sitting or standing with your feet flat on the floor. Close your eyes if you feel comfortable. And bring your attention to your breath. Notice the natural rhythm of your breath as you inhale and exhale. And you don't need to change it. There is no perfect breath. In fact, every breath is perfect. Now, bring to mind one thing you've learned today that resonated with you. Maybe it was an idea, a technique, or perhaps just a feeling. Whatever it was, hold it gently in your awareness. And imagine yourself incorporating this practice into your daily life. See yourself letting go of the need for perfection, embracing the present moment and finding the joy in the imperfections. And as you continue to breathe, offer yourself a message of kindness and acceptance. Acknowledge that you are on a journey and it's okay to stumble along the way. The important thing is to keep moving forward, one breath at a time. And now gently bring your awareness back to the room. And when you're ready, if your eyes are closed, open your eyes. And thank you for sharing this time with me. I hope you leave here today feeling a little lighter, a little more present, a little more joyful, and you can come back here anytime to follow along, to join, to learn, to practice all the meditation and mindfulness there is in the world. So thank you for being here. Thank you for practicing with me today. I see you on the next one.